Hello and welcome to this video. We're going to talk 3.26 and here's the very short of it, and I'll get into more in the video. They're pretty much going to destroy the point of betrayal. They're adding a bunch of quality of life stuff that's like and the only way they're going to actually get people to play for the amount of time we're going to have to play this is the fact that they're going to have to add in the different league mechanic rewards as overall lucky drop rewards for mechanics that aren't theirs. An example, say you do a delirium, you finish delirium and you finish all 15 rounds and the final boss drops stuff that, say, Sanctum would drop. Obviously on a very small scale in percentage wise, but you don't have to be forced to do stuff you don't like or your character isn't kitted towards. Let's get into the video and we'll expand on some of the things. Okay, so some of the quality of life stuff is pretty much like, yeah, whatever. The strongbox essence stuff, it's a PoE2 thing that they've brought across to because people liked it in PoE2, it's like, I don't care. If you've been doing the strong boxes and the essences and upgrading them, changing them, whatever, this is just going to save you a couple of seconds. Everyone else, they might waste currency that they wouldn't have wasted, pretty much. Like, in a very vacuum-packed look at it. The bringing back the veiled orbs and then adding other orbs. Most of the stuff is going to be meh. It's that 1% crafter pretty much, and you might be able to make some decent currency out of getting people to buy this stuff off you. That's what I would suggest. Get all this currency and sell it on the either the trader in the game, this guy, or on the trade website, but get the top price for it because people will probably buy it. They pretty much ruined it, I reckon, because they're going to allow you to do veiled crafts. There'll be specific boss-tied veil crafts. You have to beat Katarina and that, more than likely. But pretty much you can get all this veiled stuff just running around doing your maps. If you're going to do that, they're either going to get rid of betrayal, and this is the way they're trying to actually kick it out of the game, out of core, and they're adding the veiled stuff into the main part of the game and easing out of betrayal. Or people were complaining that they got to actually do betrayal, which is easy. You go straight into June missions. You do June, and you generally go that sort of expedition if you want to do some rogue. Expedition June, that's your until like red maps, even sometimes later if you're picking up some good currency out of it, or you're picking up some decent stuff of rogue that you can then resell. You go that way, and then once you're through into red maps or just after, you either have unlocked the next tree so you don't have to wipe it out, and then you start going to either Exile or boss, the Guardian bosses, or you go into more the maps and all different stuff to do with the actual betrayal or expedition if you're going to double down on that. And since, unless they change the tree, you could probably go into harvest, that's around that area, and do harvest betrayal expeditions or stuff. So yeah, they're potentially going to try to remove betrayal from the actual core. I'm thinking they got some grand plan that's probably trash. In the back of their minds, they're going to actually add some other content in eventually. It's probably a PoE 2 idea that they're thinking, okay, this actually, we might want to test it in PoE 1 before we launch it in PoE 2. This might be a way to actually make room for that content. They should have done this years ago. People have been complaining about this for years. Having to roll the maps and the scarabs and then inventory, map device, let us store more stuff in the actual thing. When the idle thing came in for that event, people were like, oh, maybe we get to store some scarabs and maps and all the stuff we need for the maps here, and it's gonna just like autofill. That'll be so awesome. And it turned out to be idols. Hence how they got the fact that everyone wanted this. They actually listened to all the complaints that came from, oh, it's not that. But it's idols, we'll try it. So yeah, this is probably something they should have had years ago if they were listening to the right people, not the wrong people who shouldn't be listened to in the first place. This is a change that is really, really good. The Guardians maps and the I want to say Conqueror, but the Shaper, which is it? Elder or Shaper could already be changed with Horizon Ops. The other one now gets changed as, oh no, Conqueror's Cirrus. Yeah, so I think Shaper you could change, Elder and Cirrus you couldn't. Now you can. They should have added that a long time ago as well. Pausing, that's just a bunch of casual stuff added in from PoE 1. It's not going to do anything except allow people to actually live through their hardcore world unless they make it so you can't pause it and then exit the game and start back in town or back in your map room in your hideout, because that's the sole reason pausing works in Path of Exile 1, 2. You can't save your character. If you get out of the game and get back into the game, unless you sort of half bug it out so it's like a shutdown and it like puts you out because it thinks there was a problem, which is a bit like cheaty, but people were doing it. That's how it works in PoE 2. It shoved you right back into where you were, and you do not get an easy pass and save your character. That's the only way that that's going to work, is if they make it hardcore proof. So, back to where I started. I'll start with another thing. Another thing I mentioned. I did mention these when I was playing. I say playing. I was just adding visual content to me talking. But I was playing Minecraft and talking PoE as something for watch while you listen. I did mention these two things in the 2 episodes I made. Path of Exile 1 needs to add class perks. I went through different ideas. Some were like the Ranger. You could add attack speed and armor equals evasion as a perk. Say you beat Maven, Eater, Exarch, Shaper, Elder, all their base levels at 84, not the Uber versions. You beat them 5, 10, maybe even more, and you get a point in the perk. You can make it so you got to do this like 5+ times, so you got to beat them 10, 20, 30 times in total, all the bosses that I mentioned, and then you end up with these perks. That way the classes would feel special. You would want to play a class because the class has a perk. And the other thing I mentioned was the only way people are going to want to play this for as long as we have to, apart from it staying interesting, is people don't like doing certain league mechanics. Now, if you're solo self-found, that means you are forced to do stuff you don't like if you need what it gives. And you need to invest in to do it, which I don't like. In trade, if you don't like it, you do whatever you do like and buy the rest. Now, we'll eliminate trade from this equation because it's the solo self-found that should be, everyone should be able to play it and get whatever they want. Pretty much. If you have a league, we'll use Delirium like I said in the intro. So Delirium has 15 levels. Say after the first 10, you just get Delirium stuff, whatever the Delirium's dropping. Between 10 and 15, it starts dropping another random league, and it rotates over like every 2 weeks. Each league drops a different league's thing, and it's not broadcasted out in the public or anything. It's randomized through a randomized number generator, which is pretty much the only way to randomize something that's not random. Like you give weights to it and all that. But it's random, so people don't know what's coming, so they don't just go, I won't play for this 2 weeks, I'll play next 2 weeks. So you don't know what's coming. And then, say, Delirium now starts dropping Sanctum stuff on a lower percentage than in Sanctum itself. But, say, the number one thing people want to get is the Original Sin. Say it gives you a 1% chance, once you finish Delirium, all 15 Simulacrum levels, you have a 1% chance that it drops the uniques coming from Sanctum. So the Original Sin, all that. That way people who don't have a character for Sanctum, don't like Sanctum, or just invested their character into this and they don't want to invest another character or whatever into a Sanctum character, they have a chance to drop Sanctum stuff in Delirium. Same as Ultimatum, all the leagues, it starts dropping uniques and stuff that come from different things. I think that would keep people interested. It would keep people playing. It would keep people who don't want to use trade. I use trade, but I don't want to use trade because trade is so trash as far as people getting back to you. It is so hard to actually get some stuff and get people to actually talk back and trade. That's why the in-game trader is so good for what it is. It's instant. As soon as someone puts something up, if you put the other half up, boom, it comes to you. And vice versa. I think that's the only way people are going to play, as long as we're going to have to play all these leagues up until Path of Exile 2 is sorted out in a state where they can just pump out content for both games every 4 months. But I've rabbited on for long enough. Let me know what you think. Do check out those Minecraft videos. They are a bit of fun, bit of mucking around, and I do discuss this stuff in those videos. But let me know what you think, and I'll catch you next time, and have fun.